Hi everyone, Angus Campbell here. It's Sunday, April the 6th, 2025. Right, back on the paintwork for the B25SS and specifically the tank. The side panel is all prepped and ready for its silver base coat. And just to remind you, the other side panel was the one we did originally last year, which is what we want to match to. But first we've got to do a bit of prep on the tank before we start laying any paint on this. And the first thing is just to tidy up the edges and the surface of these filled areas, which I'm not going to delve in any deeper into. So there's that one there, and there's one on the other side in the classic position. And then I noticed when we were taking the paint off, there's that little circular ding there. So, now in the old days, we had stopper, but apparently it's knifing putty now, so we'll give that a go. It's got to be put on very thinly and in layers, otherwise it'll crack. And you'll have seen there, the other quick thing is that I ordered the anti-vibration strap for the bottom of the tank because this is a later tank, and apparently this was fitted sometime during '72 onto these lugs that we noticed were welded on the tank, and there it is, and it fits. And of course, well, there was a lot of debate about some fittings on the Dove Grey bikes as to whether or not they were black. Certainly the horns should be black, even on a Dove Grey frame. But I do them Dove Grey because they look out of place otherwise. So I'm going to paint that Dove Grey too. Why not? And then it's a simple job. It looks to me as though these are designed to captivate probably what, 7/16 AF. So that's going to be easy enough to do anyway. We've got plenty of fittings in stock. But first of all, anyway, let's get this stopper on. Right, that's the stopper sort of thinly knifed in. And the way we'll do this is give that plenty of time to dry off. Then we'll rub it down with wet and dry. Then we'll put some paint on, thin layer of paint, rub it again, and should be able to identify any high spots, etc. There's the one on the other side. I don't think it's going to take very much at all actually, because when I prep these areas again, I sanded them quite hard with emery, so it would act as a good surface for this stuff to adhere to, and I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. Bugger me. I've just found that, look, that's a depression there. God damn it. Yeah, right, we'll do that one as well. Just notice that in the light, a little tiny depression. Yeah, you can definitely see it. I mean, I'm not going for a concourse finish on this, and you can see there's quite a bit of rubbing down we need to do with emery. Try and get rid of some of these rust spiders before we treat it, which we will do this time. And just done a bit of rubbing down on the original paint on the anti-vibration strap. So we'll just get a couple of coats of primer on there and a couple of coats of Dove Grey gloss, which we've got, and we're on our way. Right, bring you back later. Right, later in the day on Tuesday the 8th, and the rust cure is now cured, and just tidied, dressed that up again, tack ragged it, and we're all there. So air temperature is still not too bad. We're in the shade here, but the sun's out, so before it starts getting too chilly, we'll just get a very light coat. God, It's amazing. It's sorry, with the light on it, you're just wondering, is that another little dent there or whatever? Anyway, we'll soon find out. But we'll get a light coat of etch primer. That's what I'm trying to say. Etch primer on here, just for now. So if it does get a bit damp in the garage, it doesn't rust anymore, just to give it some protection. And then we'll get on to some primer filler, and then we'll put a coat of grey undercoat over primer filler, and then we'll start rubbing again in these areas if it's not obvious, just to see where the low and high spots are. Right, that's the plan. So let's just get some etch primer on now, very thin coat, just to cover it and protect it. Right, there we go. Thin coat of grey etch primer with a bit of a top up. So I've just left it in the garage to we'll leave that to dry overnight. Underside as well. And obviously it always looks better in matte paint. But I did, let me just put this cloth down. I did notice one area. Now then, can I see it? The answer is no. Oh, there we go. There's some little depressions there. Don't know why. Yeah, can't see on this side. Just give it a twist. Oh, there we are. There's one. Missed them totally. So anyway, the plan with those is if we do see those little depressions before we do the next coat, then that's where the stopper comes in. Just knife in a tiny little bit of stopper, and that's how we'll you know, build up areas if we need to flash in other areas or fill little blemishes like that. Okay, right, we'll be back. Next morning, all dried up. Looks great, but then when stuff dries matte, it tends to hide imperfections. But having a good look round it close-up wise, then the area that I'd noticed yesterday that didn't show up too well is that one there, and their depressions. Other than that, on the top side anyway, oh, there's a depression there as well. There we go. Other than that, for a first stab, not too bad. So we'll put a little tiny bit of knifing putty in there and on the other side. Let that dry. Back later for another coat of primer. Right, yeah, sorry, just dithering here, just scanning a bit. Let's get it focusing. A bit there as well. Yeah, a little tiny bit there as well. You can see, yeah, there we go. You can see it better on the camera, actually, than I can naked eye. Right, 3 areas then. Get some stopper in. Right, next day, stopper dried. So, done a bit of rubbing down of those areas, and I think they've come out okay. Yeah, just little tiny depressions like that, and then the odd high point like so. That was the previous filler that I just had to dress again round one edge. A bit of high spots there. I rubbed down okay, and just tack ragged it. So ready for another very light coat of etch primer, and then if we're okay, we'll then be moving on to the next stage. So let's see how this comes out, and then I think we'll call it a day for this video. You know, I always said that matte finishes hide imperfections. How did we miss that? Oh God, probably helps if I don't put my finger on it too. Oh, come on, stay still. I'm sure you can see that. About in the centre of the frame there you go. That, and just below it, it's not focusing very well, but again, in the centre of the frame there, a little depression. Other than that, I think we're all right, but you know the process. So that isn't dry yet, so we can't do anything about that. Let it harden off. Another little tiny bit of stopper, I think just on those 2 points. And then we're on to a bit of filler primer, which will begin in the next episode. I'm sure you've all had enough of this, but anyway, if anybody's interested, just this is how we do it, warts and all. Right, we'll call it there. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Thanks for your interest, any comments and subscriptions. See you all again soon. Cheers.